Welcome everybody to the VexX podcast number 3. I am Hellraiser, and as always is with me is Halix.
What's up, everybody?
And today we're going to be talking about SMITE. So with us as our guest is the division leader for VexX Gaming in the SMITE division, Spider. Say hello, Spider.
How's everybody doing?
And I guess we'll get right into it. For those of you that don't know what SMITE is a MOBA that is kind of different from your traditional MOBAs. It kind of puts in the MMO aspect of combat into the MOBA. And what I mean by that is the kind of the character view and the positioning of your camera and some other things make it feel a little bit like that they've taken some things from MMO and installed them into this MOBA. It's a game made by a developer, Hi-Rez, which they've made other games like Global Agenda and Tribes Ascend. And it is in beta right now, so you can see some live streaming of it. If you go to vexgaming.com and you look at the streams, I'm sure that you would see some footage of somebody stream playing SMITE. So we'll get right into it, and first I'm going to start off with, being that it is in beta, how balanced do you think everything is so far, Spider?
I would actually say it is fairly balanced for a MOBA. It definitely needs a lot of, does need its tweaks, which MOBA doesn't at this point. But by far for the beta, I started with Dota, beta tested League of Legends, played a little Han in beta. This is by far the most balanced MOBA to date.
I would definitely agree. It has some balance issues, and as they bring out new gods, obviously they're not going to be initially balanced, i.e. Cupid, that they just brought out recently. Wouldn't you agree there, Spider? I think if you don't have a Cupid on your team, you're pretty much boned if the other team does.
Yeah, I was very happy. This actually, with Cupid, was only out about a week before they did a little mini patch in which he had some slight nerfs. He still is one of the better ranged ADs, but I think the well-played on her will beat him in every aspect.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think it also comes down to is they're trying to keep it as balanced as possible from what I've seen and from what I've played. And I know that once, like Halix said, once a character does come out, generally it is a little OP to be on the initial, and Hi-Rez is generally pretty good about finding what is considered to be OP in that class and kind of dulling it down or figuring out a mechanic to be able to manipulate to make it a little bit better for that particular class. That being said, what would you say right now is the flavor of the month as far as team composition?
As it stands right now, I'll just go through each role. For middle, it seems to be on her or Ao Kwong, probably the number, top 2 played, occasional Hebo. As far as the side lanes go, Baka is probably being role in jungle. You see the occasional Wukong, but definitely Baka. As far as overall ranged AD, like I said, you're going to see it kind of on hers. Ranked, I don't believe they've let Cupid be played in that just yet because he's too new. But again, like I said, on her is just way too buff. As far as other casters and pinks, Sobek is probably one of the top, and or Guan Yu. He's been through 3 different nerfs, and he's still in just about every single competitive team. As far as overall casters go, for side lanes, Agni got some slight buffs last time, to his number 2, actually, the damage scaling. He, again, is very viable in side lanes. But a lot of teams now are using Ra and or Anubis. Usually Anubis is paired with Sobek, which is a very deadly lane.
Yes, I have noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how do you think that the competitive scene is turning out in SMITE? Do you think that that's something that's going to blow up for SMITE, or do you think it might just fizzle out?
I actually think SMITE has the potential to be one of the top esports games. There are a few teams. I've been watching lots of streams lately of the pros to kind of see what they've been doing. There's a team Almost Famous, led by Letzies. Him and actually a few different League of Legends players like Wolfie have created a pretty good team going. They stream every day. They're very, very dominant right now. There's a couple other teams, I believe one led by DM Brandon, another up-and-coming team. They're doing pretty well. And there's another team led by Decay. Between those three teams, it seems that it's only in beta, only been out for a few months. There's quite a lot of competition, and more people are coming.
It sounds like it's going to have a strong backing. Now, has there been any talk of like actual sites that are going to support ladder tournaments or anything like that, or is Hi-Rez said that they're partnering up with anybody to try to make this like an actual legitimate esport, or is that something that's kind of on the back burner and we'll see how it goes out?
Actually, Hi-Rez has pledged, actually, I believe, a decent amount of time and money in order to try and make this into an esport, so they definitely have full backing. I know there's a couple of side sites that I believe there was a tournament this past weekend. I know between BL Gaming, I think, is trying to host some stuff, and there's also a newer website, SMITEfire.com, that is also might be getting into some tournaments as well.
Right on. I actually just want to point this out, Spider. I think there might be something wrong with your mic because it does kind of sound a little bit weird.
You sound like a robot.
Do I?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have the live stream in your background playing at the same time as you talking?
No, I figured that would mess me up.
Okay. Well, at any rate, it sounds a little bit weird, but we'll go with it.
We will roll with it.
We will go with it.
But yeah, on the same token, I think that it really is going to have a huge push here once it maybe starts to get towards the end of beta into release for the game with regards to actual tournament play, and hopefully it picks up rather quickly. I really think the gameplay is a lot better. It's a lot more difficult, but also easier in some aspects. Just because of the way that everything's laid out. You don't have a top-down view. You can't see people that are coming at you from the side, so you can definitely flank somebody really easily, whereas in a traditional top-down MOBA, you don't have that ability. So, I mean, that's also easier and harder, and that's just one aspect that is just completely different.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people are enjoying it, is because it's the first MOBA to actually break away from the MOBA mold. I know MOBA is kind of it's a new genre, right? And people are finally elaborating on it and trying to make it a little bit different. I think SMITE is kind of cornered that now.
Most definitely.
Now, in terms of fun factor, Spider, what's your favorite character to play?
As of the current game right now, I am greatly enjoying Kwong. He is not the hardest character to play, but playing well, it definitely takes great positioning, and you can't really be too overly aggressive because his getaway escape, which is number 2, isn't the best in the game. But basically, practicing is perfect. Lots of games, get his placement right for his tornado and whatnot, which is number 3, and he's definitely my favorite.
I'd say my favorite would have to be Ymir. I don't know why. I really just like Ymir because of all of the CC that he has. He's not the most powerful character in the world, but I can get you out of sticky situations pretty easily, and it takes a lot to take you down. And I think that's probably a good character to learn with.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but my favorite, by far, Arachne Jungle. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad Arachnes, though. No, I've seen some pretty bad Ymirs, too. That's beside the point.
I'll be honest, I've seen bad everything.
But, yeah, I like Arachne, too, and I think that that's probably one of the more powerful junglers. And that other one, I can't remember his name offhand, the dude that throws things up. Yeah, Bakasura. Guy is nasty, too.
Yeah, Baka versus Arachne. Baka definitely wins the day, but for fun factor, I still say Arachne.
All right. Do you have any questions, Helix? I've kind of been going off on Spider here.
No, man, it's all you. I'm just enjoying the talk right now. You know, I've got my hands on Smite, and I haven't played for a little while, but I know Spider's still extremely involved in it, so I think we should just turn the floor over to him and let him talk about any aspect of the game that he would want to mention. You know, if anybody hasn't played the game yet, or even if they are, maybe talk a little bit more about the actual meta aspect of the game.
No, I could definitely run with that. I'd definitely say just, for the people that haven't played it yet, just remember one thing. Smite is completely skill shot based. There's no auto lock, no auto target. No, they can't just, new mode it on you. So definitely that's something you want to realize. It is definitely different from League of Legends, especially the viewpoint. Once you get a hang of it, you are going to love it. I mean, I played League since beta until about 5 or some months ago, and basically really got into Smite, and it's pretty much been downhill since then. I mean, I've almost played no other games besides this. One of the things currently in the game that does need to be changed, and I know Hi-Rez is actually working on it, Hands of the God, you'll see all the top teams, besides mid, every other person on the sideline takes a Hands of the God. Control of the jungle is just way too good right now. You can control your side of the jungle, you can get higher levels. Once you hit the higher levels, get some early kills. Snowball's a little bit crazy. Not quite League of Legends, but it is definitely there.
I have to agree
Yeah,
with
it's a
that.
pain
I
in
think
the
that was
ass.
an early strategy that a lot of people picked up on pretty quickly. Was the Hand of God strat.
Yeah, there's rumors that they might, like, in an area, like, I think Hand of the Gods will be used once, and then that mob can't be affected by it for like another like 6 seconds or something like that. Kind of trying to limit the viability of it. I
Hmm.
know there's been a lot of talks, but there's been no
There's no
official
been
patch
indefinite.
release.
I got you. Here's a good question too. I know that currently there's only like that one map that Smite has in beta. Has there been any talks about releasing other maps before actual launch?
I've seen a lot of the community ask about it, but I have not seen anything official yet on whether Hi-Rez is actually developing any of their current maps.
No, I think that would be a good thing for them to actually do and break away from the mold even further. Because if you go into League, you've basically got one map that everybody plays, and that's where your tournament play is. So it kind of gets stale real fast because you're playing the same map over and over and over again. You know, where everything's at, there's nothing that changes. I think something that would be slightly more random, like if you had jungles that popped up in different places and different spots, so you didn't always have your mana in the same spot, your health in the same spot, etc. I think that would actually be a decent idea for them to run with, but just give us other options. We don't always want to play the exact same map every single game
I think that,
because it does
like
get stale.
I do like what you're saying is like maybe like the same map but a different layout. Like things are in different positions, maybe slightly different, but overall the same kind of map. Um, or even better yet, give us a couple of actual different maps, and run with that because like you were saying, it does kind of get boring playing the same map and running with the same strategy all the time. I mean, if it works, it works, and you're gonna keep on doing it. So throw some diversity in there and give us
Yep,
some other obstacles.
that's right. As far as the meta of the game goes, Spider, can you talk on that a little bit? Like all the different abilities and such.
As far as the current meta goes, I mean, I just, like I said, watch a lot of pro streams. They seem to mix it up a lot, with their lane comps and strats right now. But it seems to be centered around the same key characters. There's usually an on her. There's usually always a on you, and basically between those, you can kind of mix and match around that. You'll see a lot of people do. They go for pretty much all escape teams. So like almost every single hero has a jump. That's why on her has a jump. Agni can get away. Bakasur can jump out. Go on, you can dash away. That's really big in the game. Not all the heroes have them. There's not a lot of heroes that are played that don't have some way to escape in and of their own. I've seen the community's been asking for some kind of a blink dagger, some kind of blink in that aspect. I hope they don't do it because everybody's just going to get it. It'll just be like,
It'll just
blink and
prolong
whatnot.
games and prolong the inevitable.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is